Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be my March wrap-up. Now I know that this video is posted in May, but I already explained this in a couple of my previous videos, so I feel like at one point I should stop mentioning it, but I'll mention it again in case this is your first video of me. I broke my phone in March, so I was not able to film a March wrap-up at the end of the month. So instead, I'm doing it now that I actually have a phone again. So let's just get into the wrap-up. In March, I read 5 books and 2 mangas. It wasn't a great reading month, especially because I wasn't able to listen to a lot of audiobooks because my phone was broken and I use it to listen to audiobooks. So yeah, I'll discuss those 5 books and 2 mangas now. So the first book that I finished in March was Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I was not planning on reading this book in March, but I just felt like reading it all of a sudden, so I decided to read it, especially because it's quite short. I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Before the Coffee Gets Cold is a book about basically like time travel, but it's not sci-fi. Like, don't worry if you're like, I don't read sci-fi. It's not really sci-fi. It's basically about these 4 different customers who go to this cafe where if you sit in a certain seat, you can time travel to the past or the future. And you read from these 4 people's perspective and where they go when they time travel and their stories. And it's very emotional. It's a lot more emotional than I thought it would be. I was not looking for an emotional book when I started reading this, but that's what I got. I really like this a lot more than I thought I would. Like I already said, I definitely want to read the sequel of this book, but these books tend to be quite expensive where I live because it's a translation. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to buy the sequel for this book, but hopefully someday I will. Can we also just take a moment to appreciate how pretty this book is? It's one of the reasons why I bought it, to be honest. I didn't know anything about this book when I bought it, but I was like, it has a tiny cat on it, and it's blue, so I need it. So yeah. Then the next book that I finished in March was the only audiobook I was actually able to finish before my phone broke. That audiobook was Sitting Pretty. I've already talked about this book a couple of times now on this channel, and I'll say again what I've been saying this entire time. I really recommend this book to able-bodied people, so non-disabled people. It's basically a book about the author's experience of being disabled, and it shows examples of how ableist society can be without a lot of people realizing it. Yeah, I really recommend this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars as well. And I really want the physical copy of this, but it's quite expensive because it's a hardcover, and I rarely buy hardcover, as you can see from my shelf. So yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to buy it if I'm willing to spend money on a full price hardcover, but that's not now. So yeah. Then the next book that I read in March, people who watch my channel will already know that I read this because I made a reading vlog for it and I posted it a little while ago. So the next book that I finished was A Gathering of Shadows. This is the second book in a trilogy. So I can't really explain the synopsis of this book, but the series is basically about a world where there are 4 Londons. It's quite a difficult plot to explain, but yeah, I read the second book after struggling to read it for a couple weeks. I've already said this in a couple other videos. I really struggle with reading fantasy books, especially because also this is a series and I don't really read series that well. I struggle my way through it usually. So yeah, I did end up enjoying the last 100 pages a lot. I sped my way through it. Don't actually remember how many stars I gave this book, so you'll have to check my Goodreads, which I'll link down below. But yeah, I am planning on finishing this series this year. So hopefully I'll be able to read the almost 700-page book that is the third book and last book in this series, hopefully sometime soon. And then next I read a manga because I was really struggling to read because my phone was broken and I just didn't feel like picking up a physical book, and I couldn't listen to audiobooks, so I decided to read a manga online, and I chose A Man and His Cat. I read the first volume. This is the story about like a cat who is considered like ugly, which I don't think any cat is ugly, but in the story the cat is considered ugly, and this old man adopts him, and it's very cute and adorable. It's also sad because it goes into like the cat and his like insecurities and like the old man and like the fact that he's like all alone, and his like wife probably passed away, like they hint at that, and like it's quite sad but also quite adorable. It also made me want to own a cat again because I used to own a cat, but she passed away a couple of years ago, so now I haven't had a pet in years and I really miss it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this volume. I don't know when I'm gonna continue with it because again, this is like the kind of manga that I just read on a whim, and I don't know if I'm gonna continue reading it, but I did really enjoy it. Then the next book that I actually read physically was The Girl with the Louding Voice. I have mixed feelings about this book, but that's mostly for personal reasons. But basically the synopsis of this book is that a girl who lives in Nigeria, I hope I pronounced that right, and she's basically a third wife to a man that she doesn't want to be married to, but her father marries her off to this guy because he can't pay for anything. So it's basically about her story of how she wants to leave this place and go to school. What I really liked about this book is the language and the way that it's written. It's written from the perspective of this girl, and her English gets better throughout the book. You can see her like use words that she learns in the book. You can see her start to use it in the book. And I really, really like that. It's one of the reasons why I asked my mom to buy it for my birthday, because I thought it was so intriguing. And like I said, I have mixed feelings about it, but mostly because some of the scenes in this made me really anxious, and I almost had like a panic attack during a certain scene. So yeah, that's mostly like personal reasons. I did really enjoy it, and I do highly recommend it. I think I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, maybe, on Goodreads. I'm not sure, you'll have to check my Goodreads again. Also, actually, this book matches my outfit. So yeah, I just realized that. Then the last book that I read in March was Peter Pan. I've had this book for quite a while. It's a very beautiful copy. It has like these weird edges. I don't know what they're called in English, but it has like really weird edges. And it's a very pretty copy. The problem is that I really didn't enjoy this. I grew up basically without like reading fairy tales. I only read one fairy tale, and after that I never really read any again. And so because of that, I haven't really watched a lot of like Disney movies around like fairy tales. Like I know them, but I hadn't really watched them. So I knew what Peter Pan was about, but I didn't know the exact story. So yeah, I really didn't enjoy this. Maybe if like someone reads this who loves fairy tales, they will enjoy it, but I didn't. And that's probably my fault, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy this. The only thing I enjoyed was the ending, both because the book was finally over and because, frustratingly enough, this book actually like got me like this close to shedding a single tear. Like this close. And that made me really mad because I didn't like this book. But the ending was still like a bit emotional, and no, I didn't like that. Don't do that to me. Don't make me not like a book and then make me almost cry. That's not allowed. It's not allowed. So yeah, I gave this book 1 out of 5 stars, I think, but again, that's just my opinion. Don't come for me for not liking your favorite fairy tale. Then lastly, because I wanted to end the month of March on a good note instead of ending it on Peter Pan, I read Gakuen Babysitters. Again, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah, I read this for like the 4th time or something. I really enjoyed this manga and the anime as well. It's very cute and adorable. It's just about this schoolboy who has to babysit the children of the teachers at the school. It's very cute and adorable. The babies are very cute and adorable, and this comes from someone like me who literally never wants to be a mother. Like, I don't want to be a mother. I don't like babies that much. And I still think they're really cute and adorable. So, you know, take from that what you will. Is that the correct, like, saying? Take from that what you will? I don't know. But yeah, it's very cute and adorable. 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. I really, really want the physical versions of these mangas, but they're nowhere to be found because it's not translated in English yet. And that makes me really sad because it's one of my comfort mangas. So that was everything I read in March. I'm really sorry that this video is so late. I will try to make these wrap-up videos and TBR videos. I will try to upload them at a more correct timing. For example, the TBR videos at the beginning of a new month and the wrap-up videos at the end of the month, or also the beginning of a month. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm gonna try doing that from now on. Hopefully nothing happens to my phone again. And yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because I actually need to film another video after this. So yeah, bye.